Alright guys, this is Bones, we're in the group BoneSquad, and I made this video to explain how to run a plex for newer members in the corp, so that you guys are able to do stuff without me being on and farm and get LP without me needing to do fleets all the time, right? And be more self-sufficient. So starting off here, we have the way that you basically run a plex is you warp into a system, right? And you want to go to a frontline system, which the way you find frontline system is you open up this map right here. And on this map, you can see frontline systems. They're the bordering systems that you have to. So they're bordering systems where you have like Nena and like Aldernate. You see how there's a green and a blue. So I see a frontline. They're both glowing, and they have a direct border with the enemy system, right? So we're in Hydeales mainly because there's a lot going on in Fleet right now. But what you want to do is you want to go to like a system like Fleet or this system like Oin or Aldernate and to do it, right? And once you get into the system, you want to start looking for plexes. And the way you look for plexes to do is you open up this window, right? And it has all the different sizes here. So as you see, there's different ones: Galente small, Galente medium. So and it starts off, you have the Scout one, which isn't in this list because there's none in the system at the moment, which are basically frigates, small, destroyers and smaller, mediums, cruisers and smaller. Then you have a large, which is basically battleships and smaller, and an open, which anything goes. And then you have this part at the very end of it, which is ADV or NVY, and that means Navy issued ships or smaller, or basically T2s and pirate ships. And what I mean by that is if I open my ship tree here, right? Like these are all pirate ships here. These can't go. These can only fit in Advance, and they can't fit in navies, right? Well, if I look at these are T1s and navies. So these can all fit in the Navy plex for a scout, a Navy scout, and these could fit in the Advanced, right? All the T2s, but they can't fit in Navy one. So that's a brief explanation of that. Now I'm going to drag this back over here. All right, we'll lock that window in place. And then once you find one you want to go to, is that if it's already opened, if it's not open, you can warp to it and it'll open it. But if it's already opened, you can D-scan it, right? You hit V. So basically, D-scan lets you see what's around you in space, right? Normally, I like to do 360, and I like to see like what's happening to make sure that I'm not getting like ganked. So obviously, there's a Vexer, a Catalyst, a Hookbill, a Civpol. I know I get a lot of flack for having NPCs and Rex on my overview. Sometimes I hunt for some of that stuff, and the Rex give me indication if someone's ratting that I can hunt, or if I scan this plex. A good example is I scan this small over here. I see the little hollow box means it's a player rec, and these solid boxes mean they're NPC Rex, right? So basically, I know that somebody's been in there running the plex without having to have actually gone in and see it, right? So that's why I have Rex on the overview here. Alright, so what you do is I found a small, there's nothing in it. I want to do, I'm warping to it. I'm de-scanning, making sure, there's some pods, people died around. Make sure that I'm, everything's all good in the hood right now. Alright, then when you land here, there's a acceleration gate. I always warp about like 100 km, 70, 50 km. I warp a good distance off so that I don't get grabbed by anybody on the gate. And another trick to do that too is you go warp in from a direction that people don't suspect you to come from, right? So that then because it comes in, you come in based off the direction you warp in from, right? So you see now I'm inside the system, the plex here. Nobody can warp to me without coming to this acceleration gate. So technically you're safe in here because you could check D-scan here and you can see people when they're outside the acceleration gate, which gives you time to get away if you're paying attention. And then the way you run the plex here is you run in, up, you fly up to the rats, you shoot the rats. Right, you just keep shooting this rat here. I go up to the other one. This is the new, normally there's not 2 rats in here, it's normally 1. Right, sometimes it bugs out, or it might be the new update. New update's changed a handful of fucking things. Fuck me, dude. Okay, so I had a dude warp in on me. I was trying to explain how to do the thing. So I warped off because I'm not really in the mood to deal with a hook bill right now with this shit. It's not geared for a fight with it. So I'm warping over to a different plex right now. But same story, you warp in on it, right? There's no way in the system. All these people are risk averse, so they're going to fight me with it. I don't think they will, right? You slide in. Yeah, no, I can take all that stuff that comes in here. You blow up the rat in the middle of it. Like this, right? So you come in. You could do plexes in these backline and rear guard systems, or command. Command systems don't pay as much, but they're safer relatively, right? But then once you get here, and you're doing, someone's actually doing missions in here right now. If you want to know true. So normally what I do is I fly a Callus, which is a blaster ship. So I hug the beacon. If you're a Kaidi ship, you kind of want to offset a little bit from this this beacon right here. Because this is where when the enemy come in, this is where they warp in at, right? And then I switch between both my overviews, so I'll have like I'll have that 14 AU to check to see like what's in system, right? So obviously like what's around me, and I'll change it to 1 AU to see if somebody's directly outside my gate, right? And normally when you're spamming this, you'll hear an update, right? Like a noise, like it's like it almost sounds like a sonar ping, right? And that's when you have somebody outside your acceleration gate. And normally you have probably 10 seconds or so. That don't quote me on that, but you have a good amount of time to either decide like on the spot if you want to take the fight or not. And if you want to take the fight, stay, and then pick your distance from the warping point. If you don't want to take the fight, warp off, right? And tricky you do too. See if people are coming, so you can switch from 14. Let's say he's at 14. And then, oh look, he's at 5, right? And you switch, and then you keep doing closer distances, and you see if the person's like almost like coming to you by how you're changing your distances you're scanning at, right? And then basically, so you sit here and just smash. If you want to be lazy about it, you just smash V the entire time, and it'll just keep scanning, and then it'll let you know if a ship's coming up. And then let's say a ship does show up, and you don't want to fight it, right? You could start like picking a random object. I have safes, but you could warp something random, or you start lining out, right? You don't just immediately warp off. I start like let's say another hook bill shows him, I want to fight him. The other one, I was kind of slow with it because I was trying to explain and think through what I was trying to explain, so I wasn't really paying attention 100%, you could say. But you line out, right? And when you're aligned to an object and you hit warp, you instantly warp to that object. So that's a benefit you get from being aligned out. So you align, and then the moment the person slides into the plex, you warp off, right? And then you warp off to a random spot and then ping around, and they can't really do anything about it. And then every time this rat and that's if you don't want to take the fight, right? If you want to take the fight, obviously hug the beacon. I'm going to blow up this rat here. But yeah, after blowing up the rat and everything, you sit on this plex here. Like, I'm not going to sit here for a full amount of time because I'm trying to explain it, and it's pretty much you just keep blowing up this rat, spamming your D-scan. Like, you hear that noise right there, that means something showed up new on my D-scan, right? It was all stuff, but I have it set to where my overview tab is. But yeah, so then you just keep spamming it, if you make sure what's coming outside, right? And if you don't want to find him, run away. If you want to find him, hug it. And then you just wait this timer. Once this timer hits 0, it'll ping up in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Mine's over here because I have second monitor, but it'll ping up. It'll be you get this much LP, right? The bigger the site, the more LP it pays out, but the higher DPS you need. If you get a Catalyst with T2s, you could be able to do a large if you have good skills, right? You can do a large plex. If you're if you don't have as good skills, you can do a medium or like a small. Smalls pay out around 20k, larges pay out around 40k LP, give or take, which is pretty good, right? LP goes for around 700 to 1,000 ISK per LP. Fuck, my bad. But yeah, so you could kind of say that you get like around 20 to 40 mil, right? Doing plexes and shit. Like, I'll kind of show you what I mean, though, by ships showing up. Like, obviously, you'll wait out the timer as soon as when it comes sliding in here. This hook bill wants to fight. I'm not going to find him because he's like the counter to the ship right here I got. But yeah, so that's how you do plex like that.